Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. My name is Uncle Makara, and today we're talking all about how to build faith in your spiritual practice. This is a very important question, and I think it's come up in our last channeling. So I wanted to provide some assistance to people who are a little bit still hesitant about the spiritual journey, and they're sort of on the fence, right? They're not really sure whether they should indulge in it or not. And feel this sense of distrust in the universe, distrust in God, distrust in that divine intelligence, okay? So the first thing I understood, and this is from the perspective of an artist, okay? I cannot control how others see or define my art. The moment I make it about what will the audience see me as, and I start to manufacture my art for them, it's taking away from my own personal relationship with that divine source, because now I'm taking source and I'm skewing it for someone else. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense, guys. So number one is you cannot control how others will view your art. In the same way, you can't control the way that others take your service, right? Your service is a very specific way, and you have a product. In the Vedic system, you'd call it seva. And one of the things of seva is that it's a transaction, right? You get some form of money for giving a service, right? So your bank account balance actually rises as a result of you giving of some service. So if your bank balance is staying the same, are you really giving of service, okay? This is a very, very important understanding, because it comes into the understanding of the way that we value others and the way that we value ourselves, okay? So when you're in a higher vibration, when you are actually loving life and excited about the adventure of life, you have this loving devotion to whatever it is that you're doing, something that you're passionate about doing, right? You're really enjoying that thing. And from that joy, you actually allow that divine intelligence to speak to you. Imagine the universe's energy speaking through your artwork or your creations. That's what I'm talking about. And that's actually what's happening behind the scenes. There is some kind of a divine blueprint that is associated with your craft. And the more you hone your craft, the more you get closer to your purpose. So this is a game of dancing between will and surrender, of service and selflessness, okay? Of being able to balance a system within a flow, okay? So you've got to understand that divine flow, that creation, that connection is what is already there. It's just been buried under the rubble of this physical experience, okay? So we don't have the eyes to see it or perceive it. So intuition is a skill that is trained. Faith is a skill that is trained. And for people who are very linear in their mindset, I would say that, hey, if you can frame it as taking a risk or something else, because that's usually how business people, entrepreneurs, perceive it, is that I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a leap of faith, right? And it doesn't have to be shrouded in religious concepts either. And let me tell you that maybe right now you're distrusting in the universe because, I trusted in the universe before and they gave me XYZ. There could be some storyline that you're running in the background, okay? But let me tell you this. Maybe you needed that event to happen in order for you to today truly tap into your power, your wholeness, allowing for more freedom. And as I say that, I feel a peace, a deep peace in my heart, a stillness. And I understand that, there's something so magnetic to that understanding, right? That at one point in the chapter, it doesn't make sense, but as you move the needle of time forward, it starts to integrate. It starts to make sense, as a result of the whole, or the grand scheme, the grand picture, this great video game that we're operating in. I mean, think about it. If you were in a video game, you would want to have faith, right? That you were going to win the game. You would want to have some level of faith that I have the skills to move past this level. Now, I have a theory, and it goes like this. A lot of spiritual, sensitive people, empaths, starseeds, okay? a lot of them struggle in the social realms with just ordinary people. But I think this is just a higher level gameplay. So this higher level gameplay is about the social shaman taking over, where you have the skills to isolate and go into your inner world, but can you keep that same level of stillness when you're in a public environment with lots of people, lots of noises, lots of intrusive frequencies, right? People talking over each other. Can you handle it when it comes down to that? So you're in the storm as a spiritual person. You're not hiding in the cave, just meditating. And this is the next level of the gameplay, right? You've already achieved the status of isolation, hermit, Taj, okay, monk mode. But now it's time to take that energy and really give it to the world. Find opportunities, but don't seek them. Allow for opportunities to unfold. Don't resist change, be one with the flux. Allow yourself to really have faith and trust so that you can have a new creation come into your life as the old ones start to fade into the background more and more. But the thing is, you've been putting so much energy into those events in the background over you actually enjoying and accessing this life, like making sure that your mind turns online, and really perceiving the beauty of this creation that you're a part of. You're a unique fingerprint. You are a unique puzzle piece in this matrix. But you keep denying that, you keep pushing that away. So now it's time to really love that energy and forgive that energy. Forgive source so that it can forgive you. Forgive yourself so that you can actually not hold yourself back so much whenever you start to move forward. Know that you still have your human flaws and errors, right? You are this powerful infinite being, but you still have these little errors that you do, right? Little idiosyncrasies or mistakes. And I think that's completely valid. Like, yeah, there's some things that you've also solved and worked on and healed. But understand, you might have like 6, 7, 8 generations of incarnations of unhealed trauma that you're dealing with currently. And so that's a big responsibility, right? You might be thinking as a spiritual person, like, I just wanted to come to this realm to chill, man. I just wanted to come to chill. I didn't want to come for all this, right? All these missions and to heal myself. And I didn't come for any of this, right? I just wanted to come in, be normal, be kind of fit in, have a normal life. But that that's not for you. You know that you're going to suffer if you actually double down on mediocrity, right? And you start to slowly settle into the cage that's already provided and golden and shiny for you. But it takes a willingness to peer into the unknown in order to make great shifts and breakthroughs in your life. And I've known this and you've known this. Has there ever been a powerful breath work that you've done and you've altered your brain chemistry in that moment and you had some brilliant download or thought and it helped your spiritual practice? This is what I'm talking about. You've created the ability for that faith to come through. You've created a pocket or a chamber for you to connect to that source. So disconnection from source is what creates a lack of faith. It creates more resistance. It creates more friction with the divine. Whereas you have guardian angels ready to help you and protect you, you have a whole spirit team ready to guide you, you still feel that, they're not even there. And you're not even hearing their messages. Okay? But what if they were actually trying to guide you through these subtle nudges in the spiritual world? Through angel numbers, through random occurrences, through people showing up from the past again, through, different timeline shifts where you see and notice, wow, this aspect of me is really changing now. And again, it's not as calculated as you think this is, right? It's not like the divine has this geometric map and is going to draw concentric circles around it to create some fancy diagram so your human mind can even get it and comprehend it. No, it's going to take you into the spiral. So drop the linear aspect okay, the Jordan Belfort system of straight line system, and get more invested into going internal and up. That's the upward spiral, gang, okay? So we are practicing coming back to the self through deep stillness, meditation, reflection, prayer. And from there, we are rising up to really recreate the vision, to create the new version that overrides the old. And it's not so much about becoming more. I want you to drop that idea. It's about letting go of what does not belong and does not serve you anymore. So if art is the process of you just decoding source, and if your communication then becomes a creative act, then you are in loving devotion with that energy, with the Tao, with that substrate energy, right? You experience it and you feel it. You know, something that was very, very powerful that Zen Gift taught us in our last channeling, and he pointed us to Walter Russell as well as a very key genius, or a mind who could tap into the source and have a relationship with the source, okay? One of the things he said is death is just outside of your sense range, which I thought was very empowering. And maybe that can give you a different understanding to this life, right? It's just outside of our comprehension, outside of our understanding, right? Our senses cannot perceive what goes beyond death, and that's why we struggle with afterlife. But Walter Russell actually has a section in one of his books, I believe, and if you guys can find this, send it to me. Okay, if you guys want to do the research on behalf of Primal Sutra. We're also hiring researchers. We have different scholarships for people who want to join the ADAPTS program. So definitely shoot me a message, if you are interested in this information and you want to amplify it, okay? I do believe that there is a section where Walter Russell is mentioning the afterlife in one of his books. I believe it was the Divine Iliad, as far as I know. There he describes actually what is going on, and it's from his gnosis, it's from his illumination. Actually, Walter Russell had illuminations every 7 years of his life, right? 7 years and then 7 years later. And when he was super young, he didn't know what it was, right? And so he was trying to still come to terms with it. But I think the universe or God spoke to him directly, and these are the examples or the miracles that we see and we want to tap into as well, right? I think Tesla had a very similar skill, and Dr. Walter Russell recommends that you ask very profound questions before you sleep. So that's very, very secret adept stuff that you're getting, right? With even the mention of that name, it's going to take you down a rabbit hole. So if you are interested in learning more about this flow state alchemy, this kind of peak performance shamanism, which I'm deeply, deeply passionate about, as you know, like I keep talking about it every single day. But yeah, this is something that for you to really integrate for yourself is how to have faith is you trust in your abilities and you allow for that surrender to take over, okay? I trust that this will go exactly the way that it should be, the way it's meant to be. I trust, I allow, I know the universe has a greater plan for this. There is something emerging. There's always magic around the corner. Okay, that's the mentality for you to tap into. Okay, so practice this daily, make it a skill for you, and slowly you'll have the universe on your squad. Skrr! Okay, let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Us, take care of yourself. We're all gonna make it. May the flow be with you. Us.